What interest do we have in Afghanistan at this point with al-Qaeda gone? We went to Afghanistan for the express purpose of getting rid of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, as well as getting Osama bin Laden. And we did.
Well, that wasn't true last year when President Biden justified the Afghanistan withdrawal. It's not true today. And it wasn't true yesterday, for that matter, when he celebrated the drone strike killing of al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri.
There is a sense in which today's victory is a tactical victory that points to a very large strategic problem. And that strategic problem is the long-standing and enduring relationship between the Taliban and al-Qaeda. And when the United States cut and run from Afghanistan a year ago, a lot of people worried that this meant that al-Qaeda was going to be back in business.
Indeed, very much back in business. This is al-Zawahiri's safe house, per the Associated Press, in downtown Kabul, where al-Zawahiri was staying in Kabul's upscale neighborhood, was home to a top aide to senior Taliban leadership, Sadoun Haqqani. According to a senior U.S. intelligence official, Haqqani is deputy head of the Taliban, serves as the Interior Ministry. In its government, he heads the Haqqani Network, a powerful faction within the movement. So to be clear, al-Zawahiri, al-Qaeda's number one, lived happily in downtown Kabul. It's even a closer relationship between the Taliban and al-Qaeda than before 9/11. Chris Harnish joins us now, former Deputy Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism at the State Department. I thought the Haqqani network were the worst of the worst, and it appears as everybody's just getting the old band back together, right?
Well, hey, Leland, great to be with you. Before I address that, let me just take a quick moment to tip my hat to the men and women in the United States military and intelligence community that brought this truly evil man to justice.
For sure.
This was the culmination of 20 years of hard work and quite an accomplishment by those individuals who worked hard to bring this person to justice. And I think it signals to every terrorist in the world that no terrorist is safe, especially those that bring harm to the United States. To your question, though, Leland, look, the fact remains that President Biden's decision to abruptly withdraw troops from Afghanistan a year ago remains one of the worst foreign policy decisions in modern American history. And simply killing one high-value terrorist, and he was certainly a high-value terrorist, but killing one person in the course of 1 year does not make this policy a success. Quite to the contrary, as you point out, Leland, al-Qaeda has greater freedom of movement and has greater safe haven in Afghanistan than at any point since 9/11.
And you're right, and we did a lot of coverage on this yesterday, so forgive me for not having done it in your intro. Point out the difference between celebrating the victory for America's intelligence services and how sort of extraordinary of a moment yesterday was for them, and at the same time realizing what it means in the strategic sense. Cable news sometimes moves a little too quickly for our own good. But you say it should be a message to terrorists. You've studied terrorists for a long time. You served in Afghanistan. He was killed by with the Ninja missile, right? This is the thing that doesn't explode. That's how good the intelligence is. The blades split out from it and go through the balcony where he was standing. Do terrorists, though, really fear death and the revenge of America? Or do they believe they're going to get their reward in heaven, therefore they don't care? All this does is make them have to take their operational security a little bit more seriously.
Well, I think it's both, actually, Leland. I mean, look, these terrorists, they do have a mission. They have objectives, and anything that we can do to make it more difficult for them to execute their mission is a win for America. Like they don't want to they don't want to die immediately. They want to carry out their mission. And look, I think that our ability to send a signal through these drone strikes, I think it resonates with terrorists the world over. But I think one thing that is really important. I mentioned the word world over. The words world over. I think one thing that's really important to mention here is that killing Zawahiri, although I think it will have an impact on the morale of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, and will certainly force some members of al-Qaeda to communicate differently and to take measures to evade detection, it doesn't have an effect on the operational capabilities of al-Qaeda's branches around the world.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Keep in mind keep in mind that Al-Qaeda's greatest threat is actually not emanating from, or the great threat that's posed by Al-Qaeda is not emanating from Afghanistan. It's actually emanating from places like Somalia and Yemen and North Africa, where some of Al-Qaeda's strongest branches are. And this strike on Ayman al-Zawahiri does not negate that.
Yeah, and certainly at some point he had sort of become much more of a figurehead than the powerful operations force he was when he planned 9/11, although undoubtedly good that he's dead. Chris, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Leland.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.